Well, John Deere wants United Auto Workers union members off the picket lines. The company has been asking judges across the state to issue injunctions, essentially limiting the number of strikers at Deere factories. We have team coverage tonight as those judges hand down decisions. Local 5's Mary Sugden is in Des Moines, and John Diaz joins us from Ottumwa. First to Mary, though, you were in the courtroom in Polk County, so why is Deere asking for this, and how are union members responding?
Yes, Stephanie, what this really boils down to is John Deere claiming that picketers have disobeyed traffic laws, which attorneys say is creating an unsafe environment, and that they've also been intimidating and preventing some third-party workers, people like environmental cleaners, from entering the site, basically disrupting those essential services. Now, attorneys for John Deere showed multiple videos that they say outline some of these examples. One showing a picketer briefly kneeling in front of a semi. The other shows a picketer in front of a car trying to pull into a warehouse. But attorneys for the union pushed back on these clips, saying they only showed the actions of a few members who disobeyed union rules. And attorneys used testimony of UAW leaders to show these members were immediately pulled from picket lines, and say all members receive picketing training and are reminded of them before every shift.
The reality is, after 8 days of surveillance, where they appear to have 24/7 cameras on that picket line, the best evidence they can show this court is that for 3 to 5 seconds, 2 vehicles were slightly delayed in entering the facility. That's it.
We aren't asking to stop them from picketing, but we're asking for help and an order to keep roadways from being blocked and impeded. You know, there's enough evidence, there's close calls before someone gets hurt. And before
3 union members, including a bargaining chairperson, took the stand for the defense, also laying out what this union training system basically looks like.
Have a picket captain that has his own van. A lot of times it drives around to try to make sure that the people are moving, not standing still, that they're obeying the laws, and that they're not holding up traffic. And on 3 different occasions that I know of personally, we've had people removed.
And again, this chairperson outlining that those rules are reiterated to these UAW picketers every time before they start their 6-hour shift. So today, no decision from the judge. He says he's going to weigh basically the cases that were laid out in front of him. He says that this is at the top of his list. He knows it's a pressing case. So we do expect a decision here in the coming days. Reporting in downtown Des Moines, I'm Mary Sugden, Local 5 News. We are Iowa.
All right, Mary, thank you. And John, you're in Ottumwa. We can see the workers behind you right now. How are they feeling?
Yeah, Stephanie, you know, we've been talking to them and asking them how they feel a week into this, and they tell us they remain positive, they remain confident in their decision, and they remain confident in their position at the bargaining table, essentially. Now, in light of everything that Mary just reported on, they tell us that they're trying to follow all the rules. They're trying to make sure they avoid any complications like what we've seen over the past week out here. We've also been reporting a lot about the community support that these folks have been receiving, and that continues today. As cars drive by, they continue to honk. A local restaurant brought by lunch earlier today, and the workers here tell me that they continue to feel that support, and they are feeling a growing sense of camaraderie.
And it's one thing to feel like, hey, we need to stand up, but we're doing it, you know, and it's a beautiful thing. I mean, everybody's sticking together, everybody's got each other's backs. What John Deere has ultimately done here is they brought us closer together. And I actually can't wait to get back to working so that we can have this same atmosphere inside the factory.
And we should talk a little bit about the cold weather that we're experiencing. It's a little chilly, windy, and a little bit rainy out here. That doesn't seem to have deterred anybody today, but it does bring up the question, hey, what happens if this goes on longer? And they are preparing for that. They're working with the city right now to bring out some equipment, to get permits to bring out some equipment should this go on into the colder weeks and the colder months. And coming up tonight at 10, we're going to hear from a worker who works here at John Deere. His dad works at John Deere. His son works at John Deere. His wife works at John Deere. A real family affair. He has a really interesting perspective on this strike. For now, we are live in Ottumwa. John Deere, Local 5 News. We are Iowa.
A tradition for many families. All right, John, thank you so much for that update there. And negotiations between Deere and UAW resumed earlier this week. The strikes began after neither side could come to an agreement on a new contract and didn't extend the deadline to do so. Prior to that, 90% of union members rejected a revised version of their contract, giving a 5% raise to some and 6% to others.